our listeners are subjected to you
weekly
on a weekly basis. I'm not kidding, because we
How
play.
do you mean subjected?
we
tastefully. Tastefully entertained would be a better word.
I tell you what, Dave, when we play Slade, we don't go for the obvious hits. I never have done.
No.
The last time we featured, I think we've featured 2 of your albums on our Friday Night Rock show. One was Nobody's Fools recently, and the other one was Whatever Happened to Slade, which I think is still an absolute masterpiece.
Outstanding, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that, because when I go to Russia, for instance, they pick on stuff that I don't play, and they go, oh, Nobody's Fools, and I go, oh, you really like that, do you? And do you know a song, I don't think it's on Nobody's Fools, called In for a Penny, do you know?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really big in Russia, that one.
Wow.
And it's like, it's not one of our biggest hits, but
it's
the other
great.
one that's really big in Russia is a song called Ooh La La, which is Ooh La La in LA, and it's quite catchy, but it was never a hit. But the Russians have got a thing about it, you know.
How odd.
And I go, why didn't that happen anywhere else? And sometimes you might have to tailor your set accordingly, you know.
Yeah, about your set list, I've seen the set list for the up-and-coming tour with the Suite. When you're looking down that set list, which must be quite hard to actually do because you've got so many hits, but what's the one song you think, oh, I can't wait for this one to come up, because this is one of my favourites?
The one I enjoy playing is one of our later hits, actually, and it's My Oh My, which is an 80s hit. And
He loves that.
I was going to guess The Bangin' Man.
No, it's not that. I like the groove of that, but...
So do I.
I think... I think one of our best songs is How Does It Feel?
So do I. Without any doubt, it's an absolute masterpiece,
and it's the
Dave.
most class act
And
song that we...
How often do we play that?
And how recently did I listen to it? About half an hour ago. I watched the video. You look so cute on that video with your dark hair. You look great. How Does It Feel? I watched the extended version. But my favourite, to be quite frank, is Shape of Things to Come.
Yeah, you love that, don't you?
I love that.
What's
It's
that
just
one?
The Shape of Things.
Shape of Things to Come. It's just a punchy pop song that could come out at any era and it would still take people. I love that.
Crazy?
Eh?
Say the title again.
Nothing Can Change the Shape of Things to Come.
Shape of Things to
Yeah.
Come. Blimey, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's just brilliant, though.
It's my top tune of yours.
Yeah, I might think about that.
Oh, yeah.
It's punchy. It comes straight in.
Do you know what I'd like to see you do, Dave? I'd like to see Slade do Whatever Happened to Slade in its entirety from beginning to end.
I know. Yeah,
because I think that's it's definitely got some of your best guitar work on it.
People are doing albums.
I think it's because we'd worked in America quite a bit, and we were doing a lot of shows with ZZ Top, and so there's some influences of things we were picking up. ZZ Top were unknown in England at the time, and this is long before they had beards, and they were like clean shaven and wearing cowboy hats.
No.
You know, and we were working with them as, you know, because they liked us on the bill because we got the crowd going, you see, so they liked us. But we were quite influenced. So there's a lot of stuff going on in that album, and I think guitar-wise, yes, I think, you know, a lot of the hit records, obviously the guitar work on that is commercial in a sense, and part of what the song is. And Chaz was always, our manager, was always great with production and of less is best and not to overdo, you know, because you can have things too busy. I think the song is paramountly important. But I think in the later years we probably started to go towards what we would have been doing very, very early on in our career, which was all the different tunes we did, because we did so much stuff of other people. I mean, all sorts of Frank Zappa to...
my favourite.
Yes, it's real freaky stuff. But that Shape of Things to Come...
that's my favourite.
Was I remember it was something to do with a film or something. But when we did it, I remember recording it thinking, "Gee, this is really good." If you listen to the lyrics of it, it's it's almost ageless because it's always referring to something
the
happening,
new world.
isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a new dawn, there's a new song. And it's a bit like, that could be any time really, because it's a bit like there's a change going to come, you know, or something's going to happen.
It's an ageless,
I did think
it's
about
an ageless
re-recording
song.
it, actually.
Do it.
Yeah, it's just one of them, you know, and it's nothing can change the shape of things to come. Yeah, it's Man and Wheel. That's who wrote it, I think, Man and Wheel.
Right.
A strange combination of people. I'm sure it was something to do with Screen Gems or something like that. I do remember the song cropping up, and then we recorded it, and we got a buzz out of it doing it. It didn't actually make it, but it was certainly putting us on the road to other things, you know, at the time. But
It's a hit. It's a hit. Even in
Yeah,
this day and age, it would be a hit.
Yeah, it is a funny one, and I'm glad you mentioned it, because it might be one to really look at again.
I tell you what, Dave, we'll play it on Friday night after your interview for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, but you should mention it, because sometimes, I mean, you know, talking to different people from different parts of the country and have different ideas, you know, and it's just, you know, you get another... I mean, when I go to Moscow and I go to St. Petersburg and places like that, it's extraordinary what some of the people come up with, because they mention things that I've never ever thought of doing, you know, because they go, oh, this is really, you know, this is this, you know, and the Nobody's Fools album, I think we did that in America. That's right, we did. And we did it in the record plant where John Lennon recorded in New York, and that's where we recorded the Christmas song too, as well. I don't know if you know the story about the Christmas song, but we recorded it in the heat of July in New York, which was nothing about Christmas, of course, but the record plant in New York is it's a studio in an office block, right? And of course, we look like a bunch of crazy idiots singing about Christmas when people are coming to work
in the summer,
you know, and they're thinking we're some bunch of nutters from England, you know, sort of singing about Christmas. But none of us ever knew at that time that we were onto such a winner of a song until it got to December, and then it suddenly sounded right.
Yeah, brilliant. Dave,
but you know, all these things are obviously history now.
I loved your live album, by the way, and the Darling Be Home Soon.
Darling Be Home Soon, yeah, John Sebastian.
Yeah.
That was not very good with that. Not always had an ability to do things like that, you know, to approach a certain song in a certain way, and having it on that album, because that album is basically the show we had at that time that we've been playing for several years. So when we recorded it, you know, that album was may not have been recorded actually, or released. It was just funny because what happened was Get Down and Get With It made it, and we'd gone in and said, oh, you record a live album with some people, you know, because we weren't that well known. But when we recorded that album, it was in it was like a sort of studio come audience type place in London, right? And it was sort of Command Studios, that's what it was. It was a studio, but you could get an audience in there, and a small audience. Well, I mean, the people that were coming to see us or came there, some were fans, but some people were just shopping around London. And people at the front go, hey, come in here, there's this group Slade's playing here. They want some people to do some shouting. So those people who are on that record are a part of shoppers and all sorts of strange. Yeah, absolute true story. And just, we thought, well, we were just going to hang on to the album, but Cause I Love You made number one, and the record company, which is Polydor, said, we haven't got an album, we need an album, you know, they're number one. And it was a bit like Chaz says, well, we've got one, we've got a live one. Oh, we'll put that out then. Right, okay. That's the best move we ever made, because that was one of the biggest albums.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was fantastic.
And everybody always talks about that.
Dave, it's still regarded as one of the best live albums ever made.
Yeah, I think it's because it's real. Yeah. I think it's because you've got Born to Be Wild on there, you've got Darling Be Home Soon on there.
And Shoppers.
Yeah, and In Like a Shot, there's all sorts of stuff on there. And And Ear Calling's on there, isn't it? Ear
It is.
Calling. Yeah.
Which, funnily enough, we played last Friday.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah, that was 10 years after song.
That's right.
And I know he's dead now, you know, the guitarist from 10 years.
Alvin.
Yeah, Alvin. I met Alvin in Hollywood. I remember he was in this swimming pool in this hotel. And it was a bit like... it was one of those encounters where it's a bit like you're looking at me, I'm looking at you, and we're not talking. You know, you're sort of like, I know who you are, and he knows who we are, but nobody's saying hello. And then eventually he goes, hello. And I go, oh, yeah, Alvin. Yeah, good to meet you, mate. And he says, do you know what? When you recorded my song, it's the best bit, it's the best bit of income I've had in years.
Brilliant.
Well, it was true, because we thought it was great, you know, because he was a great guitarist, you know. And that's why we recorded it, because we loved it, you know. And of course, he was like one of the outstanding guitarists of that time.
Brilliant guitarist. Dave, before we end the interview,
Yep.
something that we ask every rock legend. Are you ready?
What are you asking me for?
Because you are one, Dave,
Yeah.
that's why. What's your favourite fish?
Fish?
Yeah.
Salmon.
Excellent.
Right, we'll put that
That's
down
all we
on the
needed
fish
to know.
Well, you ordering it up, are you?
Dave Hill, Salmon Sandwiches, when we come and see you, mate.
Yeah, no problem.
Brilliant. Dave, thank you very, very much for joining us today. Have a great tour with Sweet. We will definitely come down to see
will
you,
be at
either
one
at
of the
Birmingham or
shows.
Coventry, I would think.
We will barrel into you,
I mean,
darling.
that your name Kendall, that's an unusual Christian name, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Mother was drunk at the font, darling.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of nice, because it makes me think of the Lake District.
Yes, mint cake.
Yeah, Kendall. It's just that I'm a Wordsworth fan, you see, and I always loved...
Oh, no, my name is Kendall Sassoon. Mother said nothing would go with Sassoon, so I had to have Kendall for some reason.
No, I think it's unusual, but really nice. I mean, it's nice to be a little bit different, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Oh yes, I'm very different.
Just to have something unusual, you know.
Well, we're gonna come and see you, and you better let us in and have a sandwich with you. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Dave, thank you very much indeed.
That's a good idea.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, mate. You're
Thanks
in.
for your time.
Take
Dave,
care,
thank you
sweetheart.
very much.
Bye.
We'll
Bye.
be there. Bye. Thank you very much, Dave Hill. On behalf of HFM, we have had a wonderful interview. How good was that?